Hey guys, welcome to There Goes a No Hitter. It's back. It's been gone for a while for the season, but I'm glad we're back. And I'm actually gonna bring on a guy that's gonna be probably join me once in a while throughout the season, especially talking Dodgers baseball and everything baseball. So let's bring it in, Ramiro. How we doing?
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Yes, it is. But before we get to that, I'm just glad we're having a season. I mean, the spring training was a little bit of a
Yeah.
it's a little bit of I'm here in Florida. I was hoping to go to a couple spring training games this year. I can see the Tigers as far as I think that's the closest one we got. I used to be able to see the Braves. Actually, I used to work uh the Braves spring training
Oh,
when
really?
when they were at Disney.
How
So
far is how far is Vero Beach?
Vero Beach, I was just there, so it's probably 2 hours, give or take. I've been there. I actually
Right?
went to Vero Beach.
The old Dodgers training camp. Now it's in Glendale, Arizona, right?
Right. I actually went there to yes, I believe it's late 2020. So I
Oh,
kind of like right after everybody come out of their house post pandemic.
yeah.
So
Seems like
I
a
went,
long time ago.
yeah, so I went there and had um I stayed over there in Vero Beach, and then we had went to where they played. And so they still got some of the street names
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I was hoping for a tour, but it was right after the pandemic. So I mean,
Couldn't get
maybe
the
if I go
tour.
down there again, maybe they'll do a tour. But it was cool to see. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I love spring.
for many years they held the spring training games there.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, my mom actually went there, and my aunt, when they played here, it was their last season here. They actually
Well, they
came.
actually caught a game.
They actually caught a whole. They were here a whole week. It's like
Oh, that's cool.
that's back when I lived in Cali. They flew down here, and she got pictures with like Tommy, and
Oh, man.
she has pictures with all these great
All the legends.
all the legend Fernando,
Yeah.
uh, Steve Yeager or Steve
My guy,
Garvey,
man, that's my guy.
yeah, yeah. So
Fernando.
she has all these pictures, so it's pretty cool. Then when I started working, we were like, "Hey, you want to work the Braves?" I said, "Yeah, I do it. Let's work the Braves." So I worked the last season the Braves were at Disney before they moved to their new spot. So
Okay,
it's
neat.
cool. So I
Yeah.
actually have a Braves spring training hat. So it's like it was funny because at the end of last year when we got beat, I said, "Let's go Braves."
Burn it. Burn it.
I said, "Let's go Braves," just because I was like, "Well, yeah, whatever."
Yeah,
But
I actually have tickets for April 20th. The Braves are coming into town.
yeah,
So that should be pretty
I
interesting.
speaking of which, I actually am thinking of going in June because
Okay.
I can go to Atlanta from here,
Oh, nice.
and I'm gonna go
Okay.
try to see Freddie Freeman's first
Oh,
games over there in
Freeman,
Atlanta. So
man, Freeman, he's beloved in Atlanta, but now they're gonna probably boo the heck out of him.
I don't know, man. I mean, Braves fans are different. They're like kind of like St. Louis fans. I mean, um, we seen what they did with their
Yeah.
with their former players coming back in imposing uniforms.
Speaking of St. Louis, I don't know if you heard, Fat Albert is going back to St. Louis.
Yes,
El Tio. El
Uncle
Tio
Theo is
Alberto. Man, you
Theo.
know what? With the new universal DH rule, I was hoping the Dodgers would keep him,
I
just
was
DH. But
I was
that's
hoping
what
that
it is.
was gonna happen myself because it's like that lineup would have been stacked.
Yeah, I mean, it
You know,
already is
I
murderer's
mean,
row from
yeah, I
top to
mean,
bottom.
but could you imagine? Because it's like we got Muncy at second, so you can already have Freeman at first, but then you put Pujols at DH,
Hmm.
and it's like, uh, find a hole. Find a hole in this lineup. There's a particular hole in the spring training lineup that I'm kind of worried about. I'll get to, but
Yeah.
let's talk about it. How you feel about the new CBA came out? How you feel about DH in both leagues? I'll
I
let you
mean,
go first.
I think it's about time because either you universally get rid of the DH altogether in both leagues, or because you can't have just the American League DHing for all these years, and obviously um, pitchers' ERAs tend to be higher in the American League because of that. So I think it'll be a lot more offense, that's for sure, all across the board. So for people who like high scoring games, I think you're going to get some high scoring games in the National League now. Because you won't have to see a pitcher go up there and just watch as three strikes are thrown and the bat just stays on the shoulder. It's
Right.
kind of a pointless at bat, really.
So
So it makes
yeah.
sense. It
So
makes sense.
I'm a realist, right? And I get it if people are like chicks dig the long ball, chicks dig the long ball, but I'm more of I like playing situational baseball, and I know situational baseball is over because people use the computers to win games, and oh, you're supposed to do this and you have to do this. But I'm gonna miss the pitchers like, all right, bunt here, you gotta get that bunt down,
You're
or
from the Florida,
oh, I'm
Florida school,
old
man.
school. Like I am
I
like
get it. I
I'm
get it. The
I'm
purist.
40, right? I'm 40, so it's like
I'm right
I'm
there with
old.
you, brother. I'm right there
So
with you.
it's like I'm old school. I'm like, this has got to be um I even in my games, right? I'm playing MLB the Show, and I'm doing old school baseball. So
You laying
for
down the
I'm
bunts.
laying down the bunts. I'm doing hit and runs. I'm stealing,
Small
right?
ball.
I'm trying to run a squeeze play or
Yeah.
something like that. But at the same time, you know, these gives these guys extra guys to play longer. I mean, hey, let them play longer.
Yeah, it'll extend
Um,
their careers,
you know, and you see a lot of guys doing this thing. I mean, in fact, I'll name a couple guys that are going somewhere. It's like you got Nelson Cruz going to the Washington Nationals, which is basically a DHing, right? You got Pujols going back to St. Louis, which is going to be basically a DH.
I'm
Even
happy for him, man. I think it's great when guys go back and we get
right,
to retire where they started, kind of do a full circle, you know?
exactly. And then I'm thinking the same thing with Freddie Freeman, right? 'Cause I'm thinking, oh, Freddie Freeman can DH and Max Muncy could play first. But then a friend of mine was like, well, don't forget, Muncy could play second. And then I was like, I'll forget it. That lineup is just going to be
Man,
crazy.
the options are just
Or
endless. Yeah.
so yeah. So I mean, I liked it during the shortened season. I mean, I liked it during the 60 game season. I don't know how I feel about it during the um full 162 game season, but we'll see. I mean, we're gonna see how it goes. I can't wait. You know, um, speaking of also 12
Yeah.
team postseason this year, so they extended it. The top two seeds in the division gets their like a bye week, so it's almost like the NFL. Um, how you feel about this? I kind of
Well,
like. I rather go
I
ahead.
like it. I mean, I like it because it gives teams hope. If you're on the cusp, if you're right there, towards the end of the season, you know that there is a possibility that you can get in. You know, I think it makes it more competitive. Because
Hmm.
there are a few extra spots there. You know.
Well, it makes it a lot better for September baseball. I mean,
Hmm.
September baseball is already fun, but now you're looking into August, and also I always said because I always just say you can't win your division in April, but you could lose it,
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
true.
now you may be able to win your division in April. I mean, what I mean? So, I mean, it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna like it. I kind of wanted to see the wild card go to. I like the wild card format. I just wanted it to be a 3 game series.
3.
I didn't like the single game elimination as much as I like
Yeah,
163, but that's
I,
different,
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't come down to just one game.
right?
Because
Yeah,
anything can happen in one game. The least that they can do is make it 2 out of 3.
right. Because I mean, okay, 163 game 163, but you had 162 games
Yeah.
to figure this out. But now after playing 162 games, you're in the wild card. Congratulations, you're playoffs. But now you're gonna have one game. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
basically you burn your starter for this game, possibly your second starter, depending on how well he goes, because you got to
mhm.
pitch what they call Johnny Holstaff. But if you could get a little series, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna wait and see. The other thing is now we're gonna get lottery picks. Now we're both basketball guys, and we know the whole lottery system is rigged, frozen envelopes, and
A lot of
you
tanking going on.
tanking and
Mhm.
frozen envelopes, and you know, empty golf balls with nobody's names on them, ping pong balls.
The
Um,
David Stern days.
yeah. So how you gonna feel? I mean, the top six are gonna be selected via lottery. Interesting to see how that will go.
I mean, if it's done fairly, I mean, it should be fine.
Yeah.
But
And then
you never know with these things.
right, and then also I see now the rookie of the year. If they finish first and second in the rookie of the year, it's considered a full year. So congratulations, you can actually now take a full year's pay on your contract. Even if you rookie of
Yeah.
the year, it's gonna add your whole full season. But the one I'm really curious about is only the players can only be optioned for 5 times a season.
Hmm.
So
So if you send
that
them down to
puts
minors,
you got 4 more chances to send them back down. You cannot. So the
hmm,
two teams that led this last year were the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays.
yeah,
They up and down their lineup so much, right? And you can't do that no more.
that
Your
might be a
40
problem.
man roster and
Yeah.
your 40 man roster is set, and you got to remember your your 40 man roster is set, but also your 25 man roster is set to where you can't be playing. Now I think injuries is different, so you can probably simply bring somebody up if it's an injury, but to say like he injured himself, so I need that way because you're gonna get a fresh body in for 10 days or whatever it is. You got to
There's
play
always
the
there's
game.
always loopholes around it, you know.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be interesting to see what they do because I know the Dodgers, especially, they like to mess with their lineup
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
we have a great farm system, and we do like to bring, guys up and down as needed, and that might be a factor down the line.
right. And so the other ones that are coming out is for next year. Uh, no more shifts, please.
Yeah, it's so bush league. Yeah, I never liked that, man.
So if I can say you can either have no shifts, you can have the shifts, but you can't have a DH, or you rather have the DH and not the shifts because you can't. I mean, because
I
I like
I just hate the shift so much, man.
I hate it. I mean, I get it.
It's
I get it. I get the whole thing because it's all the guys the pull hitter, natural pull hitter. Well, if
yeah,
if have your guys learn how to hit the other way, I understand that, but
but they're
still.
those guys are few and far between that can do that, that have the ability to hit the opposite way,
Correct.
you
And
know?
then there's also a thing called they're gonna do bigger base sizes possibly next year. Their things are huge.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, they're
think
like this
that's just
big.
doing too much. That's
So I
I
mean,
I get it. They're just trying to find new ways to improve the game, but I
okay,
don't think that's necessary.
are they trying to improve the game, or they just want the fact that okay, cool, then we could get more runners on now because they'll be like, oh, the base is a little bit bigger, so it helps the runners.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, ultimately, they wanna bring, I don't know, I guess, more excitement to the game.
yeah.
I get it. I get it that, there's a generation that really doesn't really watch baseball, man. Like
Well,
we did when we were kids, baseball was everything, you know. Um, and
well,
now kids have so many other things to do that they don't even watch baseball, man.
I think I still think in general the sports are down, all down, no matter. I mean, across the board, because there's
Especially
so
baseball
much.
though.
Yeah. There's so much stuff, and if baseball, if they didn't get their act together the way they did, it could have really, really, really hurt. It could have been
Yeah.
like down the drain. But and then a pitch clock. I guess. I mean, it's okay. It's like a 24-second shot clock.
Nah,
I'm
see,
sure.
I'm not with that, man, because that's the beauty about baseball, right? It's just like, the purest form, like, you're not really worried about a shot clock like you're on basketball, or, the beauty about baseball is the game could run 2 hours, the game can run 3 hours. Um, you just the flow of the game. I think that's the beauty of baseball. When you go to the ballpark, you just want to just enjoy the game, the flow of the game. Sometimes it slows down and it's just part of the game.
Well, I like to. I mean, people always used to go like, "Hey, man, time's this baseball game gonna be over?" I said, "I don't know when it's over."
Yeah,
And they're
I mean,
like, "What do you mean?" I
yeah,
said,
that's the beauty of baseball, man. You go with the flow.
"So,
You know?
I like the reliever clock. Okay, I'm okay with because the dude had like X amount of time in the bullpen to get ready. I mean,
Warm up, yeah,
do you really need those 6 to 8 pitches
yeah, that I
on the
get.
mound? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you do because you need like 4. I'll give you 4. I'll give you half, just for the
Yeah.
fact to get your comfortability of that mound because every mound is different. Every mound
Mhm.
has different footing for the other opposing team. So especially the opposing team.
Yeah.
But you really need 8 pitches to warm up your arm after. Now, if you're
Pitchers, every pitcher's different, man. That's the beauty of baseball.
yeah,
These guys, they have, they have the routine. Uh, you know, I- if you ever you remember Jansen used to always, really frustrate people because he would take his sweet time.
I
But
got one.
that's just
I got one better for you though. Pedro Baez.
Pedro Baez was the worst, man. Pedro Baez would have you yelling at the TV like, "Come on, dude." You know,
Pedro
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 Baez is probably the reason that they
yes,
put that rule in.
yes. Pedro Baez is Joe
Worst.
Buck's favorite player because that's
Oh, oh, Joe Buck.
he used to say, we're gonna time this guy with the hourglass. I think I
Man.
did it too. I think I timed him one time and think it was like 15 to 20 seconds per pitch.
Yeah.
And that's him getting the ball back from the catcher.
Dude, it was torture watching that guy pitch.
So,
It's just
you know,
like and
more
only,
ways than one.
he would do that only to give up a home run blast. It's like,
That's what I'm
"Really?"
saying. More ways than one, right?
Like, you did all of that, just to give up a blast, you
Yeah.
know?
So it was fun. All right, so let's get into some of these players with new teams. First off, okay, we'll start with our guy Freddie Freeman going to from Atlanta from a World Series champion to a World Series contending championship team. With the Dodgers, how is his impact going to be with with the Dodgers right now? What are you thinking? I'm
I
looking at their
mean,
spring
I was
training stats.
surprised. I was, to be honest with you, I was surprised he didn't stay in Atlanta. I thought he was going to stay with the Braves. I was really surprised, even though he's, a local kid, grew up a Dodger fan. I thought he was going to stay in Atlanta. If you really think about it in terms of just the pure numbers, we lost Corey Seager. So if you look at Corey Seager's stats, they're somewhat similar to what Freddie Freeman brings to the table. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding Freddie Freeman, um, which I mean, some is deserving. I mean, he just won a World Series, and he's clutch. He's a winner. But if you look at it statistically, I think it'll kind of fill the void. That Corey Seager left offensively. Um, so it'll kind of just balance out at the end of the day.
I truly do believe that same thing. He's gonna the void, especially in the lineup, and he gives that extra utility first baseman slash DH that he could use, and you could also you can now keep Mac Muncy in the
Mhm.
lineup, as well as maybe Chris Taylor or a Kevin Pillar if he makes a team.
Yeah.
Um, you know, to get those guys. So now you have 3 studs, 3 lefties
Yeah.
in the lineup.
Yeah, and
Um,
we're gonna need Freeman to really
yeah.
put up big numbers because the way Bellinger's been struggling, uh
So okay, yeah.
yeah, he's gonna really have to step it up.
So with Freddie Freeman has 13 at bats in 5 games, 4 hits, uh, a homer, and batting 308. so far in 5 games in the spring. So it's, I mean, and he started late. And remember, he was there late.
Yeah,
So you
he's
speaking of,
reliable.
yes, reliable.
Yeah,
You were speaking about Cody Bellinger,
I don't
and
know
Cody
what
Bellinger
happened to him.
is struggling.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
I mean,
it,
he's been struggling for the past couple seasons. It seems like
so he has struck out 15 times this spring. He's batting a buck
awful.
36 in 9 games, 22 at bats, 3 hits,
Man,
1 walk, but 15 strikeouts this game.
it's alarming. It's alarming how often he strikes out, man. It's just
And it's
yeah,
all high fastballs. You can't hit a fastball.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
I would
it
think.
might get to
Go
the
ahead.
point where they might have to at some point, send him down until he gets that swing.
Well, they got Rios.
No,
Hopefully, he's batting. He's pretty bad. He's batting pretty good in 6 games. He's at about 500 right now with 2 bombs. So Edwin Rios is looking to make the squad. But and also, who wants? I'm curious. I'll make the squad. And if you guys haven't figured out, it's pretty heavy Dodger talk on the There Goes No Hitters. I mean, besides the fact that we're all Dodger fans, but Kevin Pillar, he's my
good
underhorse.
pickup.
I really hope he
Yeah,
makes the team.
nice pickup.
Yes, I
Yeah,
really hope he makes the team because
I think he will.
he could spell Mookie, and we won't lose that
Yep.
defensive thing and give Mookie a couple days either at DH or um off, just not at second because he can't
Yeah,
he
Pilar
can't.
Pilar will
Um
definitely contribute, I think, to this year's team
so
if
but
you make the roster.
and then of course the Dodgers also made a true they traded Matt Beatty back to San Diego. So
Sure.
he'll be delivering packages in the Southern California, San Diego area in that ugly brown
What
uniform.
what
So expect
what kind of packages, Daniel?
them UPS packages. He's gonna be USPS. Look for him in the streets of
Yeah,
San Diego.
those uniforms are awful, man.
But I mean,
Ugh,
I'm I'm
dreadful.
glad he's going there because he can probably get some playing time,
Yeah, good for
right?
him.
Because there's no
Good for
playing
him.
time in this lineup. Um, so and then I got to do this real quick. Ready. Thank you, Alana, for taking Kenley Jensen.
How do you really feel, Daniel?
I'm so
Wow.
happy. Look. Don't get me wrong. He was a great closer, probably the second greatest closer to Eric Gagne. But the dude stressed me out. Right? I mean, I don't know who's closing for the Dodgers. I can't tell you who's going to close for the Dodgers right now.
It's between was it Blake Trainin and Bruised Out Gratterall. Those are your
Yeah.
two options.
So I mean,
So
it's like,
man, be careful what you wish for. Dodger fans for the longest, we're tired of Jansen, trade Jansen, get rid of Jansen, but be careful what you wish for because, you said it yourself. Aside from Eric Gagne, if you look at his numbers, I mean, his numbers were pretty compatible. I mean, he's one of the best closers in the game, and I get it. Yeah, he made us all sweat and damn near have heart attacks. But most of the time he got the job done, man. And now, like you said, we don't know who's gonna fill those shoes, and people I think are gonna regret letting Jansen go, in my opinion.
so if I have to, yeah, I'm thinking maybe Bruce Dog Grotowall can maybe be that closer only because he throws
He's
pretty
definitely got
hard.
a great arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, he could possibly be the closer. Uh, Cliffinger could be a closer, as I'm looking at this right here. Uh, Tyler Anderson can possibly be a closer. So, but
He's a lefty,
how,
right?
yeah, he's a lefty,
Yeah.
so he might just be coming out of a lefty specialist. But you can't do that three. You got to do that 3 batter minimum now, so it's no more matchups. Um, Speaking of which, though, before we get to some other players, real quick, and I'll ask you how you think they'll do on their new teams. Tony Goslin, Andrew, let me pronounce this great.
Heaney?
Andrew Haney are
Yeah.
going to be your 4th and 5th starters, beating out Tony Gosselin and Andrew Heaney are gonna beating out Danny Duffy, beating out David Price. How you feel about these guys? I mean, being your fourth and fifth starters right now until you can figure out what's going on with a couple key guys, one coming back from injury
Bauer.
and one between before Bauer comes back, if he comes back, and also before Dustin May comes back. So,
I mean, I think they'll do okay. I mean, it's yeah, you're not really asking them to go out there and be aces. They're like you said, fourth, fifth starters at best. If they just go out there and keep the Dodgers in the game, we have enough bats that I think they can overcome pretty much anything. When you think about it, offensively, the Dodgers are going to put up a lot of runs. So. Just from a pitching standpoint, you don't have to really do much to win games. Just keep the game manageable. Give us some good innings, and yeah. I mean, I think they'll be okay
are
for
you
now.
surprised? Are you surprised Danny Duffy didn't make the starting lineup?
You know what? I was because he is a former All-Star, but
Mm-hmm.
who knows? I know he's had some arm troubles, so maybe it's just an injury thing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he's gonna be a nice, good lefty come out of that bullpen as well. Maybe he finds himself if the other two start struggling. Because I mean, I like Tony Gosselin, I like the Cat Man,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah, he's
you know,
good. Goslin's good for 4 or 5 innings. He's not going to take you the distance, but he can give you a good 5 innings any given day.
so
So
how you feel about the way they managed the season? I mean, according to playoffs, like let me give you not
I,
don't give me a bro. How do you feel about how Doc manages the playoffs compared to regular season? Feels like he has a quicker hook, and
you know what? You know, I've always been a proponent of Doc Roberts. I know a lot of Dodger fans, for whatever reason, give him a hard time. I'm happy that he got an extension. And I don't know if you saw that interview where they asked him what his expectations were for this season,
yeah, I
and
did
he did not hold back, man.
straight
I
out.
love what he said. He said they're gonna win the World Series, no doubt about it, and that's what you want to hear from your skipper. You know,
Yeah, at the same
and
time,
I
is
mean,
it?
we have the highest payroll in baseball, so it's expected. It's expected for the Dodgers to win it all. If they don't, we fall short. It's going to be a disappointment.
Yeah.
$270 million. You know,
Well, yeah, they
that's
definitely
quite
got to
a
get to the World Series, NLCS World Series,
nothing
But
less, nothing
yeah,
less.
nothing like. I mean, but it's like for a manager to say that. Well, I think Don Mattingly is still gonna say, "Hey, the Marlins are gonna win the World Series." I mean, you gotta do something. I don't know if there's a lot of teams that are gonna be like, "Okay, I know we're not gonna be contenders this year, but hey, we're gonna have fun." So you never know.
Yeah.
Um, real quick, I'm gonna give you some names. You tell me how well they'll think with their new teams. I'm gonna start off with Josh Donaldson. How do you think he'll do with New York?
He's always put up good numbers. Guy's pretty consistent. So pretty much, what you expect out of him is what you're going to get, pretty much.
Are you surprised that they traded Gary Sanchez to the Twins to get him?
You know what? I was, I was, but they had to do something to shake it up. They had sometimes you just got to make moves, man, because
Yeah.
chemistry of the team or what have you. Sometimes you just got to shake things up. So
So another one I'm looking forward to. There's two that I'm kind of looking at real quick. Matt Olson at the Braves I think is gonna be a good one. But I was shocked to see Chris Bryant leave the Giants to go to the Rockies because
yeah,
I think
he's
players averages go there to die.
yeah, that's not an ideal place, for a guy like him. But I'm sure the money side of it probably
Yeah.
will factor in that.
And Jock Peterson put on the hated burnt orange.
Yeah, man. Man, I was just like, really, Jock. Out of all the teams, I didn't even mind.
Well,
When
you
they
know,
shut up the Braves last year and
um,
beat us, but with the Giants, really, man, like,
well, he wears pearls and all. So
yeah, to be expected, I guess. I guess it's right up his alley. I guess he's gonna fit right in over there.
yeah. And then I seen the two guys I'm looking at, and people are saying that the Phillies are gonna possibly be the team in the East, if not contending for the National League crown, because they added Nick Castellanos from the Reds, and they added Kyle Schwarber. So they got some bats. And with the DH,
That's great and all, but they can't compare to our lineup, man.
you don't
I
think
mean,
so? So the Castellanos, I'll play devil's advocate. Castellanos, Schwarber, Harper, that's not gonna compare to our lineup right there.
I think they're a good lineup. Don't get me wrong. They're a good lineup. They're a decent lineup, but the Dodgers lineup from top to bottom, man. When you look at that murderer's row, I have never seen a lineup like this. I've never. I mean, this is one of the greatest teams ever assembled on paper. We know that doesn't always, you know, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes on paper, a team looks really, really impressive, and then they get out there and it doesn't quite work out. Uh, for example, the Lakers. But we'll see, man. I mean, that's why they play the season. It's a long,
Right. The
long season.
long season, right? You gotta stay
Yeah,
healthy.
a
So
lot of things can happen.
before I let you out on this, okay? You name me your World Series. Who's playing in the World Series come October?
Well, if all turns out the way I expected, the Dodgers will be representing the National League, and I would love to see him play the Yankees in the World Series.
Yankees?
It just, I mean, Dodgers, Yankees. That's what I grew up on as a kid. You know, Fernando.
Hey,
You know, 81, what
I
have
was
you.
born October of '81. Okay, who you
There
said?
you
Okay,
go. There you go. What a year, man.
I was born in
What a
October of
year.
'81.
The-
Uh, but I'm gonna go with Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
oh, okay,
I
that's
think the Blue
different.
Jays with adding Matt Chapman, and they still got Guerrero and Bichette, and I think they're gonna surprise some
Yeah,
people. And I
they're a good
think
young team.
they're a good young team, and I think just maybe they'll find their ways to possibly be that wild card, maybe a wild card, and get in there. So we'll write that down. So I got Dodgers and Blue Jays. You got Dodgers and Yankees.
I'll
We'll
make a mental note of that.
make a note. Put that on the list, as the famous wrestler was said before. Um, and we'll circle back to that when towards the end of the year or whatever. But we'll be back. Ramiro, we're gonna come back. You're gonna come back. We're gonna talk
Absolutely.
more out throughout the season. Talk a little bit about the Dodgers. Maybe talk about some other teams too. If we didn't get to your teams, don't worry. We'll try to get to most of you guys' teams. But once again, thank you for watching. There goes the no hitter. You can follow myself at on Twitter at Big Chief Daddy 75. Follow the whole crew at Sports Daddy TV. Romero, why don't you tell them where we can follow you at?
You can follow me at Ramiro Romo 2 at Instagram. And you can also listen to the Control Room podcast with my buddy Mike and I. Yeah.
All right, guys. So for everybody who enjoyed that baseball is back. It's gonna be here, and so when you listen to this, probably about less than a week. So, all right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you
Go
guys
Doyers.
later.
All right.